Hey guys, I'm doing this blog because something came to my attention today. I was just scrolling through my Facebook and I saw that there was, something on there from this childhood actor. I don't know. I know he was really famous when I was a kid. Most of you on my page are my age or a little bit older, so you know who I'm talking about, Kirk Cameron. He was Michael Seaver on Growing Pains. And anyway, that's irrelevant. Almost irrelevant as he is. He was on the Piers Morgan show, and he was talking about, how the whole gay thing and how it's unnatural, and like all the shit that everybody says, that are his kind of people. By his kind of people, I mean, well, to be quite honest with you, people that are so religious that they're blind to the fact of equal rights or just being a fucking American. Very unconstitutional as far as rights go, although all they do is cry, Constitution needs to not be changed, don't legalize gay marriage. I'm not on here to talk about gay marriage. Marriage is a piece of paper to me. It is, I don't need to have that piece of paper to have the family and that I have, and the love that we have, Michael and I, or the respect that we get from our peers and our children. What I'm on here to talk about is the situation of people not finding this to be, you don't have to think it's right. You don't have to say, oh, you're gay, that's great. It'd be nice if you said that to people, but it's not what it's about. It's about just the bullying aspect that comes along with this. It's about teenagers. I mean, one to two, actually, out of every 3 teenagers between the ages of 10, that's a baby, and 20, that kill themselves, are teenagers that are gay or lesbian or bisexual or transgender. And this isn't okay. Like, where do we live? Like, this is America. Like, I could never imagine raising my children, whether I'd be gay, heterosexual, asexual, trisexual, I don't give a shit what sexual you are, to raise your children to hate, which is completely against God's path, which is why it kills me that all these people, like Rick Santorum and Michelle Bachmann, people that I've known personally in my own life that are no longer in my life, which is good for them. It's good for them. They're lucky they're not in my life anymore. But, they have this whole twisted thing, like, the Bible says this and the Bible says that, and that's great. I support that. I believe in God. I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with them for what they believe as far as religion goes. But if they took a moment and they thought about it, it's against God's path to hate anybody. So how are these people filled with so much hate? When it comes to kids, you have to instill in your children good values. Not who you sleep with. Maybe sexual wise, maybe when it comes to premarital sex, or being promiscuous, but not falling in love. Not falling in love and having a family and loving somebody for them accepting who you are, accepting you for who you are. When you raise your children and you give them this distorted shit, and then it comes down to, my God, I can't tell my family that I'm gay because they'll kick me out, they'll beat me, they'll disown me, I'll be living on the street, I'll have nowhere to go, they get depressed, they fall into this deep hole, it's awful. It's awful. And that's where the bullying comes into it. Because these kids are not just being bullied by their peers that are brought up ignorant. They're being bullied by their own parents. To teach your child that love knows specific gender is bullying your child, whether they be straight or gay or bisexual or even confused at that point in their life. It's a form of bullying. And that is something that I can't take. I can't tolerate. Living the lifestyle that I live, I've known people to have it very, very hard. I've known people to go through really, really difficult times. Which is why I started the whole blog thing. Anybody that's watched these knows that that's why I'm doing it, to help. I want to help people get through rough times because I've had a lot of them. One of the things that I was petrified was to tell my family. When I was 10 years old, probably younger, I knew that I liked girls. I knew that I had an attraction toward the other boys. I knew that. I kept it to myself. When I was 14, I met somebody who I had already known, but I met them in that kind of light. They were a year younger than me. And I know that a lot of you might be confused because I grew up, I got married, I had 2 children. It's not confusing when you know me, and it's not confusing when you know the story. But I'm not going to get into that story now, except for the fact that when I was 14, I loved somebody of the same sex. He was a year younger. 3 years later, he was taken away. He passed. I was so afraid to tell my family before he passed away, when he was still alive. I was so afraid to tell my family that I was bisexual. I didn't know what to think. I didn't know what they would be like. The first person that I told was my Aunt Mary. First thing she said to me back was, I already knew that. Then I told my Aunt Barbara. Then I told my mother. I remember I told my mother, when you get home from work today, I've got to talk to you about something. You can't say that to my mother, because she'll drag it out of you through the phone. You can't tell her you've got to talk to her later. When you got to talk to her, you talk to her. I made her wait. When she got home that day, I said to her, I have something to tell you. I'm not only attracted to girls, but I'm attracted to boys. And she said to me, and? That was brilliant of her, of my family, the men in my family. Anybody that's watching this that knows the O'Brighter family knows that these are men. Like, I'm a man. I have a different lifestyle, but I'm just like they are. And I was once the women in my family knew, that feeling of terror wasn't gone. I had to tell the men in my family. And my grandfather, I'll never forget it. He wrapped his arms around me and he said, I love you, babe, and I don't care, as long as you're happy. People need to realize that there is no other reaction to have when it comes to a child and their feelings. Whether they're 10 or they're 18, 17, 15, 20, 25, 40, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Because even if you are 40 and you aren't out yet, but you know that you're gay or you're bisexual, There's still that inner child that is aching because they're petrified. And when you have a petrified person like that, especially a child, and you condemn them for what they feel, how are you going to handle if that child takes their life? I don't understand people that see things with very blurry vision. This is 2012. And I feel that all these bigots and these critics and everybody, these politicians that all have something to say, you know, it makes you wonder, would their child be the next one if they had to come out because of the way these people talk? And most people are in a private setting. These are public figures that speak openly in public on national TV about their hatred and everything they feel about this. And these people need to be stopped. I love my children, whether I was gay, straight, or bisexual. I love them whether they were gay, straight, or bisexual. It doesn't matter. As long as you are happy, that is all that counts. We need to stop. We need to stop all this judgment on people. You know, I mean, what these people do. It's like how I was caught up in Howard Stern. I've never had a respect for him that before like I developed today. And he had said that Hitler used to go into beer rooms, and he used to chant about hatred, and he used to promote this. And obviously, we know what happened with Hitler and World War II. And Howard Stern said if they just got up and just beat the shit out of him, and they overpowered him, World War II would have never happened. None of this shit would have happened. It's the same thing with these people, and that's what he said. And I agree with him. Like, somebody needs to, instead of these scumbags going to a high school auditorium and preaching about gays being hated and it's wrong and this and that, instead of these ignorant, stupid people applauding them, they need to cut them off, because it's the only way that it's going to stop. I feel very passionate about this. And it's not okay. I'm going to post something on Facebook along with this. It's going to be I think it's about 14 minutes long, the thing Howard Stern had. If you don't like it, and you don't like this, you delete me from your page. It's as simple as that. Because I need your ignorance as much as you need me telling you that you're wrong. You don't want me telling you that you're wrong. Well, I don't want your ignorance. So we'll cut our losses. You don't like it, you delete me. But thank you for listening, and I hope that if you are somebody who is a supporter, I thank you. We all thank you. And if you're somebody that is not, and you are against the way we're born and not the way that we were raised and not the way that we just woke up one morning and said, hey, I think I'm gay today. Doesn't happen that way. So if you're one of those people, hopefully this sheds some light. If it doesn't, you can flick me off and you can go on your merry way, and that's that. But thanks for stopping by again, and if you have anything to ask me or if you want to comment on this, please make sure that you do. This is very, very important. Let's keep our kids alive.